Welcome to This Week in College Hockey. We are now officially in down the stretch mode of college hockey. The fun stuff, really. Got NPI is definitely in play. I've forgotten what pairwise even is at this point. And we have
a remnant from an earlier era.
We have conference championships, none of which are going to really matter except maybe one or two. Because I mean, the lot of the top teams are gone. Yeah. We have NHL, AHL signings. I hope to God you have Sasha Boisvert somewhere in there. I want to trash this kid so bad. I can't trash a kid from Minnesota, but some rando who played for UND and then BU, I'm going to have at it with this kid.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
I take out all my aggressions on Sasha Boisvert. The Sasha Boisvert NCAA, tour was just something that I'd love to document.
Sure.
Short and not sweet.
It was like striking a match. It was very bright and it flamed out very quickly.
Very quickly. Very, very quickly. He was a healthy scratch in his final game.
No, I think he played the next night.
Okay.
I think he played.
Was there a next night? Didn't they lose?
Friday or Saturday.
Hey, Blackhawks. A lot of red flags there.
I don't remember one of the games.
Holy smokes!
I got to say though, Tony, this is to me, this is kind of a bittersweet time of the year.
Why is that?
Because it's getting good.
Yeah,
we're
and then
getting
it's
conference
over.
championships, but there's a Huskies jersey behind you. I'm just thinking Michigan Tech. We talked about them all season, and just boom, it's done.
Yeah, he played in the final game.
It's over. That to me is
UConn.
the finality. And like we talked about Minnesota last week, that it's weird having their season over this soon. But we go from talking about 60-some college hockey teams to now there's
There's probably like
25 left, maybe.
Maybe.
And next week it'll be 16. It's just like.
Yeah.
It's bittersweet. It's exciting, but also
Yeah.
there was so much promise. A month ago we were talking about, I'll use Michigan Tech as an example, like what they needed to do to get in, and then it's done.
It was over in a flash.
Yeah.
On Saturday
Boisvert
night.
played against UConn on Saturday in the loss. 1 shot on goal, no points, and a penalty.
What was his stat line for the year? Elite prospects, that thing.
3, 14, 17.
Really?
But I think he was hurt most of the season.
Oh, poor Sasha.
So a lot of people, I don't think he had a good year either, but a lot of people were like, well, he was playing injured.
He's misunderstood.
So
How about, what was his
17
stat line?
points in 26 games compared to, he had 3 goals this year. He had 18 goals last year as a freshman at North Dakota.
What did he finish with last year?
32 and 37. 32 points in 37 games.
Oh, okay. I'm like, he had 69 points? Holy crap. Maybe I'm take everything back about Sasha. Okay.
He had 17 points this year, which was 3 goals.
Yeah.
But people did say, I guess he was playing hurt, but I don't know about that.
He's misunderstood.
He's misunderstood. He's very emo.
Augustana, another one. How long have we been talking about Augustana? And
they're my favorite team, and they're almost no chance.
no more Josh Kotai updates.
I didn't put any
he
in
still
there.
has 13% hope or 18%
I mean, he did
hope.
win CCHA Player of the Year.
should
Oh
have.
yeah,
I don't-
he
I don't
deserves
have
he
any-
deserves everything we said about him all
Yeah.
season. I mean,
He should have.
he was the backbone of the
Well,
Vikings.
I cannot wait to get to that one because this is where NPI just baffles me, and I texted our text string about it too. So let's get into it right now. Let's roll up our sleeves and talk about what happened on Saturday at 4:00.
Well, I didn't.
All hell broke loose.
I didn't even do this by teams this week. I just did it by conferences because at this point, a lot of the teams we talk about, some of them aren't even playing. So CCHA, Mason Cup tournament. Tony, you went to one of these games, so we could talk about that. But semifinals, St. Thomas beats Augustana 2-1, and Minnesota State beats Michigan Tech 7-2. Tony, what did you see from the Mavs game? Because I thought that I had dinner with Peter and Joey Memes over the weekend, and I was like, oh, I bet that'll be like a 1-0 game.
Oh, everybody in Mankato fully anticipated a 1-0.
Because I feel like they're typically not a team that scores a ton, and all of a sudden they have 7 even strength goals.
Floodgates. Absolute floodgates.
What did you see from
Okay,
that? 'Cause
so
you were in the building.
I was in the building. I was there till beyond the bitter end.
Okay.
Beyond the bitter end.
Okay.
I just ran into I could not get out of the building. I would run into one person, then run into another. And
Yeah.
It was great. Let's see. Where do I start with this? First of all, I believe Michigan Tech was outplaying Minnesota State in the first period.
Okay.
And the shots were like 7-6.
Fairly even.
Right? But I felt like they were controlling play. They were crisp passing, owning the zone. I felt like, wow, they're good. They're really taking it to them, in my opinion. But every time they got around the net, it was like, and I'm not saying Owen Bartoszewicz played poorly.
Yeah.
They were getting some good bounces and puck luck. Not lucky. I'm not saying they were lucky.
Yeah.
But just pucks would get loose in front of the net, and there would be Lemaire, backdoor tap in. So it's 3-0. They got a big hill to climb, and eventually they score once to make it 3-1, and then immediately they responded, and that was when the game was over. When it was 4-1,
Yeah.
game was over. There was no coming back.
That's such a killer. When
It
you're down
is.
by 3, and then you get a goal, and it's like, okay,
Momentum, right?
you know, we got some time, we got some runway, we can rebuild. You know, we're still in this thing, and then when you give up that 4th goal right away, it's like, oh,
it was
God.
over.
And, you know, you're doing the math in your head. It's like, okay, we got to score 5 if we're going to win. We're in somebody else's building. Man.
Yeah, and then the
That's
4th
hard.
goal, I think the time between the 4th goal and the 5th goal was seconds,
Yeah.
you know, and it was like, all right, you know.
It's kind of one of my favorite things to say when it's your favorite team that's down 3-0 is next goal wins. That's where they get that first goal back. They kind of are like, oh, we're in this.
Yeah.
But that 4th goal, it's
Can't
kind
get
of
there.
game
You
over.
can't get there.
So
So Alex Tracy.
That's a little safer when it's 2-0.
absolutely, you know,
But
you know, you can get away with it. You can get away with it. Maybe not in college. In high school, you can maybe get away with it. But,
right. Well, it
yeah.
depends. You know. It
Yeah.
depends. Alex Tracy was fantastic. I saw him play for the last time as a college in person as a college hockey player.
Not going to Vegas? You're not following to Vegas?
Oh God, I'm trying to see if UMD and Minnesota State or St. Thomas both go, which is very unlikely.
Yeah, it's a
I
long
would be
shot.
in the building
That's
because
a
there'd be
long
the,
Sure.
the rule for me is I will go if there's a bunch of Minnesotans in the building. That's
Sure.
kind of
Yeah.
like, and if there's 30 plus Minnesotans there, we got to go cover that.
Last time I saw you at the Frozen Four was Boston.
There was a
right?
bunch of them.
I've got my Boston can koozie right here.
That was
Nice.
such a cool experience for me, not just from
and we
covering.
had, for people who don't remember, Minnesota played Minnesota State in the first round.
game. It was fantastic. My arm is still raised from the press conference. I was trying to get. I didn't get called on. Jess gets to go first, by the way, at the press conferences. He doesn't have to raise his hand. Like, all right, Jess, go ahead. Yes.
That was the old me. And
It was great.
Part of the joke there. Dave Fisher, our longtime
You're
friend.
good buddies with him.
I've known him for a long time. He went to UMD as I did. He's with USA Hockey. He's their Mr. PR, everything. But he is often the moderator
He is the moderator
at the Frozen Four for the press conference, and he's got this thing where if there's like a lull and if nobody's asking a question, he'll just call on me.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a question ready, and he'll go, Jess.
So the question I wanted to ask: there was 3 kids from Minnesota State sitting up there. Nobody asked it, by the way. Not even Jess. There's 3 of them up there. 2 of them scored and were from Elk River, Minnesota. Where am I from? I'm from Elk River. I'm from Minnesota. I'm here to cover the Minnesota kids. And all I wanted to ask is, were you a Gopher fan when you were growing up? And I guarantee they would have said yes.
Yeah, probably.
And that's the only quote I needed for the entire. I would have been done. Okay, I'm out. I'm out of here.
Yep.
And my arm is still.
You're still waiting.
Still
to ask.
waiting.
We could track those guys down. We could find out.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. It was all good, but it's like, oh, this is my moment. I wouldn't normally ask because you guys, the beat writers for all the teams are asking all the questions that I need answers to for good quotes. I don't need to be asking questions, but nobody's going to ask the question that that's going to be asked.
One of my favorite moments, since we're talking about Frozen Four press conferences, Tampa, 2023, pre-tournament press conference, and they bring up 3 Gophers.
Yep.
And I forget, all of these are like live streamed
Yes.
on the NCAA website. So not only is it us in
And
the room,
recorded.
right? Not only is it us in the room asking questions, but everything is going out just unedited over a live feed.
Yeah, but only to media. I mean,
No, but like you can log into the NCAA website and you can watch the presser.
really?
Well,
I thought it was only media access to watch those live. Keep going. No big deal.
So I'm wearing a green and white checkered shirt, and I sit down in the front row, And one of the players that comes up is Aaron Huglin. And before the presser starts, he looks at me.
So I like your shirt.
And he says, hey, you look good in green and white. And I said, I wore this just for you, Aaron. This is just no microphones
Banter.
or anything, just bantering. But he's sitting in front of a mic. And he says, yeah, you're right. Go Rams. And within 2 minutes, my phone is blowing up like, did you ask him about Rozo? Like all these people
right
watching from goodness knows where. Yeah. Fun times.
It was a good experience.
One of the nicest kids I've ever covered, by the way, Aaron Huglin. Just the absolute best.
Yeah, he camped. He was a counselor for us all 4 years, except the year he got married. Yeah. Like, I can't do it. I can't be there. My wedding's that week.
I think that's a good excuse.
That's like Ben Myers, no relation. Couldn't work our camp one summer because he was running the camps it fell on a week where he was running the camps for Delano. But he was working out there.
Nice.
So he came running up. He stopped the car. We were out there. He comes running. He goes, hey, Mr. Zozo, I can't come back. I'm doing this. I'm like, Ben, you're giving back to your community. That is a good enough excuse.
That's an excused absence.
Excused absence.
Yeah, Aaron Huglin, by the way, just since we're on this topic, one of the great stories, of like a comeback story.
Just his injuries, yeah.
He's lifting weights in the summer before he went to Fargo to play there and hurt his back. And he spent an entire year, not only did he not play that year, he couldn't practice. He literally could not set foot.
And he stayed in Fargo.
Yeah, he stayed in Fargo, kept trying to get better. Finally, he said, okay, I'm going to have a surgery. Went through the surgery. Who knows if he's ever going to play again. Comes back, gets into shape, plays for Fargo, and he scores like 2 goals in his first game back for Fargo. Goes to the Gophers, plays in a Frozen Four twice. I mean, just a fantastic story. Married young, they have a beautiful daughter now, and just a great family and just good
wonderful people. Yep. The reason I know that he stayed in Fargo is I was up in Fargo. I often in the fall I'll go up and cover. I'll either go to Sioux Falls or Waterloo or Fargo and go see a game. And I know Carrie eats pretty well, so I was up there. And I'm in this press conference, this press area at Shields Arena, and the Healthy Scratches are there. And Aaron says, "Do you mind if I sit here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'd love to sit with you." And we basically hung out for 3 periods, and it was great. Yeah. And I've known him now since then. He was a high school player of the year. That's the other thing about Aaron. He's a pretty shy kid, right?
Yeah.
He's not the most outgoing.
Not real
kid.
boisterous.
Not the most outgoing. Your typical high school kid. Wasn't outgoing. But if you ask him, Ryan will like this. You were just in Roseau. When he was high school player of the year finalist, we were in the Memorial Building to do his interview. Boy, the kid just lit up like a Christmas tree. I thought, we'll be here for like 10 minutes. No big deal. We'll just go do the interview with him. He's not very talkative. We were there for an hour and a half. He showed me every square inch of the Memorial Building. He was so proud.
Loves
of
his hometown.
Yeah,
loves his hometown. Find the clip if you're a hockey fan. Find the clip sometime. 2022 regional in Worcester, Massachusetts.
The backdoor feed to
Gophers are playing UMass. Game goes to overtime. Okay, and in overtime, Aaron Huglin gets the puck behind the UMass net.
Was it UMass or Western Michigan?
Well, they played Western in the regional final.
Okay,
that was a 3-0 shutout. That was Justin Close's first shutout, and he shuts out Western Michigan to go to the Frozen Four. But in the first game, they're playing UMass in Massachusetts,
and they were losing, weren't they?
They were down like 3-1 at one point.
Yeah.
And then they clawed back in. Matthew Nyes gets the tying goal, sends it to overtime. But in overtime, Aaron Huglin, one of the most incredible individual plays I've ever seen. He gets the puck behind the net, and it's just like everybody that came to challenge him, he would do the Quinn Hughes and change directions and move this way and shield the puck. Held on to the puck for what seemed like 3 minutes. It was probably 10 seconds.
Yep. I remember this.
But 3 different UMass players came to challenge him, and he kept spinning away and, holding it up against the boards and then moving, and then finally makes a feed to Ben Myers, and Ben Myers scores the winning goal, and they beat UMass in overtime. And this is this is how it relates to his hometown. I asked Huglin about that later. Like a year later, I'm doing a story about him, and I said, where do you learn a move, those kind of moves? And he tells me the story. It's a Roseau thing. He said they play a game in Roseau when they're out just shinny. They play a game called Scrub. Okay?
Yep.
Which is
1-on-20.
You against everybody else.
Yep.
Like if you have the puck, everybody else's job is to get the puck away from you. And he said, the coaches hate it. Because it promotes nobody's passing the puck. Right. Nobody's sharing the puck. The point of the game is hold on to it as long as you can. So indeed, I called Greg Lund, the boys' high school coach. I said, "Tell me about scrub," and he said, "Oh God," and he admits, yeah, we hate it, but they all do it. But he said, "You see, in a case like that,
where it works,
it worked."
Especially Aaron, who's always been a very how do you say it, playmaking type of player.
So if you want to if you want to see a guy hold on to the puck, just think of playing scrub up in Roseau.
They play a game in Duluth called Hongo, which is, and they have all kinds of games, outdoor games. It's fun to learn about these kids as they go through their development process. I'm gonna look up a quick Hughlin and see how he did this year. Here we go.
Need some stats.
Wilkes-Barre, 40 games. Is it Wilkes-Barre? Wilkes-Barre. Wilkes-Barre. Scranton Penguins, 40 games, 3 goals, 8 assists for him so far this season. There you go. So he's in the AHL.
Okay. Cool.
Hasn't hit the coast yet.
Okay.
All right, let's keep rolling.
Okay, so Minnesota State beats Tech. I saw a lot of people that are like, wow, did Michigan Tech even get off the bus? What happened? I don't know.
They actually, trying to give them a little love, they were actually pretty darn good, and it just kind of fell apart quickly.
Yeah, it looks like just shots-wise, Mankato really didn't even have that many shots. They just all went in.
They all went in. Yeah, it was it was 7 on 12 at one point. 7 goals on 12 shots. Here's a quick sidebar. You'll love this one, Jess. I'm at what is it called? Mayo Event
Clinic,
Center.
Health
whatever.
Systems.
Too many names.
You know the running joke is that they change the name of that place every 6 months.
You can just call it the Mayo.
The Mayo. I'm at the Mayo, and I'm at the concourse level, and I'm walking through the lobby, and out of the corner of my eye, I notice a young blonde woman who has got a Gopher hockey jacket on. I'm like, and all of a sudden, all my little calculations start calculating. I'm like, oh my God. Skylar Vetter used to date Owen Bartskevich. I guarantee that's her. So I walk one step toward her. We lock eyes.
Yeah.
And Skylar was a player of the year. She's done a ton of stuff in the Gopher camps for us. I've known her quite well. I just texted her this year, by the way, about some other off-ice stuff. And she locks eyes. We talk, and I'm like, my calculator says, you used to date Owen back at the U, and you're still dating. She was, yep, he's supposed to sign this week, whatever. And we talked about that for just a second. So you'll see Owen signing, and it's a side that you don't really know or see, and it just all kind of come calculating out to me. And then after the game, I'm sneaking out the back door, and there's Skylar and Owen just having a quick chat before they got to get on the bus, and she's got to go home. So.
There was, when I was covering the Gophers 3-4 years ago, pretty closely, it was always fun to walk into a Gopher women's game, and here's all these players from the men's team. And
Aaron Hughlin being one of them, he was always at those games. Sammy Walker was a big fan, too.
I initially thought, oh, it's cool, they're supporting the other athletes. Well, then you find out, like, Matthew Nyes and Ella Huber, for example, have been boyfriend and girlfriend for several years.
Yep.
And, in fact, I was at Matthew Nye's second ever NHL game in Tampa. It was a couple days after the Frozen Four, and Ella was there with his family. I'm like, "Oh, hey, Ella, how you doing?"
Those
she's
two
of course
families
playing for Boston in the PWHL now. So
those two families, can you imagine the Nyes and Hubers? Just how much fun life is.
Yeah,
tracking their kids around playing pro hockey.
It was funny, by the way. Last summer, heading into the PWHL draft, Ella Huber was saying, "Well, she was kind of hoping she got drafted either by Minnesota, where she lived, or Toronto for obvious reasons."
Correct. Yeah, no wrong answer for that one.
Yeah.
She's a good kid. Really good kid.
The other semifinal in the CCHA was St. Thomas and Augustana, 2-1. St. Thomas wins. Augustana did have a barely offside goal, if you see the replay. That
they disallowed?
Yes.
No.
Or they had to review it. I didn't watch the full play, but someone posted.
Their one goal counted, or they had a second goal that didn't count?
I don't know if it was
a second goal that didn't
count. But it's a
goal
that did not count.
Pour gas on my eyes. That's basically what you're doing right now.
Because I remember at one point, St. Thomas put out a tweet that said, like, the star of the period, and it was Ray Christie.
Why?
Because he must be doing their video.
Yeah.
So he must have caught that, and
it was one of those plays. If it's the one I saw, not to doubt the ref because I wasn't there. I'm just looking at a video clip, but like the player has the puck coming to them as they're crossing the line.
Yeah, it was really close.
And you could make the argument that they're in control of the puck.
Exactly.
It's like that goofy thing where in some cases you've seen a guy skating backwards across the blue
Which
line.
is legal.
Yeah.
In control of the puck, and they've blown it dead for. I do think officials generally tend to err on the side of calling it offside, rather than let the play go.
Yeah,
and,
it's super
and
close.
then potentially have to take a goal away.
It was a first period goal, and St. Thomas tweeted just his headshot, and it said first period MVP, and it was just a picture of him.
So they must have scored first.
So I don't know if it was the first goal or the second goal of the game, but they did have another goal that was, if you watched, it's just one of those where you go, it's offsides, but like barely. Yeah. It's so close.
That hurts.
Where you're like,
especially in those games where they're all one goal, low scoring affairs.
Correct me if I'm wrong. This game was 0-0 going into the third, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Oh yeah. I
think
typed
all
that.
the
all
goals
were
were
in the third period.
Were in the third period. I mean,
so
wow.
that would have been
all the goals
early,
that counted were in the third
so
period.
it would have been an early lead. Yeah.
And there were, if you looked at the crowd too, there were
Painful.
literally dozens of fans who witnessed this. St. Thomas.
Dozens.
Show up for your you've got a Division I program. You're potentially going to the NCAA tournament. You've got the newest, nicest rink in college hockey with all those cool purple seats.
Yeah.
You should try sitting in them.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with they're on spring break.
I don't know.
This is not a one weekend problem.
Maybe, I don't know.
I'm going with they were on spring break.
They did have a great crowd at that rink. It was for a high school game, but
I'm going. How is the basketball? I want to know what the basketball is. I don't know. I gotta see.
I don't know.
It's just kind of sad. They built this beautiful rink.
Another thing worth noting: St. Thomas, MSU Mankato this weekend for the CCHA championship. Tommy's final game in the CCHA.
Yeah, I said this today on the morning commute. I said, I wonder if the CCHA refs might give St. Thomas a parting gift on the way out the door. A little 9 penalty affair.
I don't see that happening.
I don't either, but don't be shocked. Don't be shocked.
Hey,
nice knowing you.
Big britches going to the NCHC. Sure.
NCHC. We'll be here. So, you need to come back, you know.
Yeah.
Shout out Ray Christie from APX and also Carson Musser in net again for the win. So, again, it seems like they're kind of rolling with him.
So, how many Ray Christie mentions have we had already in the show?
I don't know, but
it's too many.
Shout out. I wrote a story on him back when he got hired at St. Thomas. So, if anyone's curious on kind of his path through hockey, I wrote one up because that's kind of cool. Otherwise, it was a 2-1 game for them. So the championship game will be St. Thomas at Minnesota State on Friday night.
And just for the record, CHN had it as Thursday on their app back when on Saturday. So I'm typing out my report. Like, and the winner of this game will get St. Thomas on Thursday. And I'm like, and then of course
it's on Friday.
Yeah, but over the PA, of course, that night.
Yeah.
You know, tickets will go on sale tomorrow for Friday's game. I'm like, wait, it says Thursday right here.
And we can talk about this later when we get to the NPI. I won't get too much into it now, but it seems like both would probably need the auto bid to get in. There's a couple weird scenarios in the CCHA, but they probably both need it. And just for this season, St. Thomas won 2 of 3 previous meetings between the two teams, but one did go to overtime.
Yeah,
so
it'll be tight.
Probably be a tight game.
I think Mankato's going to win this game just because their goaltending is so much more secure.
Alex Tracy is really good. But
Carson Musser though, nice little Southern Minnesota going back home.
I'm not anti-Musser. Yeah, that's true.
We'll see.
How far is Fairmont from Mankato? It can't be far.
Not far.
Probably not that crazy.
It's a 30-minute drive.
It cannot be.
I want to say tops.
And I won't go through all the conference awards or anything, but I'll shout out the Minnesotans. So played defenseman of the year CCHA Evan Murr. So cool for him. So
good, so smooth.
So that was cool to see. And then the NCHC Frozen Face-Off semifinals.
Wait,
again,
before you go, I gotta just say one thing. I said it in our text string, but I feel like it's necessary to point out.
Yeah.
How crazy is it that Augustana went from 13 to 16 because of one goal?
Yeah,
isn't that insane?
Very tight.
Again, that's the bittersweet nature of this time of year. It's just
it's so bitter.
The wild mood swings of
and remember we talked. Maybe it was last week or 2 weeks ago when I was texting with the Hennon brothers.
Yeah.
About how they moved up in the final game of the season. They had finished off a case of beer.
Yeah,
like it did nothing.
Yeah. So
assuming they're
legal
drinking age.
And the NCHC is very different this year. I was very confused on when games were being played because I'm so used to the Frozen Face-Off format from years past that I thought there was going to be games Friday, and then I was like, where's all the games? And then they were Saturday, and then the championships this weekend. So
I love the single game.
I was very confused. But
I love it.
I like it
too.
too.
Just get it over with.
Yep.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
UMD pulls off a big win over North Dakota 5-1. Denver beats Western Michigan in overtime 2-1. It seems like Denver and Western have been playing really good games over the past few years, like overtimes and kind of crazy.
And I saw a stat on the goaltender's last name is Hicks.
Yes.
He's got some incredible stats over the last 11 games.
Yeah, Denver, we can talk about that game first. Their freshman goalie Hicks is 11-0-1 this year. So I assume they're going to be rolling with him.
Yes.
If you haven't lost, you might as well keep playing him.
Yep.
Bobby Cowan actually opened scoring for that game for Western, but Boston Buckberger, great name in hockey,
Love that guy.
ties it up.
One of the great names ever.
And if you watch the game-winning goal, it's kind of a fluky one. It's a shot that kind of bounces off a couple people and kind of just flutters in the back of the net. So they gave it to Samu Salminen, who, again, in my household, we refer to as Salmonella Sampson because it's a funny name. But
You and your husband are the names. Love it.
But kind of a fluky goal a little bit, bouncing around out there. But obviously in overtime, you just got to put any shot on net, and you never know what's gonna win it. So Denver wins that one, and then UMD North Dakota, we were texting in the text string. Bulldogs split up the Warhawk line, as we've been calling it, but it looks like that worked out okay.
It works.
They had a really good win, and I know
So
last
if they're
week.
busted up, I got to look at the line chart. Can you look up line chart for us?
And I read
Ryan,
too,
just so their Twitter feed, their line chart should be out. I'd like to see. I bet you the Plant brothers are together.
this is something like third or fourth year that North Dakota has fallen in the semifinals. Haven't made it to the
Oh,
championship. yet.
Schloss had it. It's crazy. Like 9 out of the last 11.
Yeah, something like that. And kind of crazy.
And of course,
too.
this year being different, you're not in a neutral site. You're in their
they were
own
at-
building.
at the Ralph. Yeah.
Right.
Good crowd at the Ralph. A lot of Bulldog fans make the trip like they always do because,
Yep.
anytime you can go to Grand Forks, you got to go to Grand
You
Forks.
got to go there.
I will say I saw that it seems
The
like
Red Pepper. Go get late
yeah.
night tacos. It's the
according
best.
to North Dakota fans, it seems like they've
Grinder.
been dealing with some illness over the last few weeks. I know
Who's
like North Dakota just as a team. I
This
know
is
last
the-
weekend there was a couple
The
people that
Schloss
were out.
apologies. I love
No,
the Schloss.
but I saw a couple of fans that were like,
They're
you know what?
so good. I
We need
love 'em.
to, not making excuses, but they were
he'll
over the
do
next
it.
2 weeks, all the players either need to quarantine or they need to get together
come
and get the sickness over with.
Come on. Now you're starting to do it.
No, but
Yeah, because just they're your pick. They're your pick.
they are, but not for Frozen Face-Off.
Brad, as
who
you know,
cares
is a
about Frozen
friend
Face-Off?
and as a colleague.
Yeah.
Okay, but I got to relate. I had another coach at a different school say to me one time, he said, this is Brad Schlossman. North Dakota has now lost 3 games in a row in January. The last time they lost 3 games in a row in January was the 1986-87 season when they won the national championship. So they're perfectly positioned.
Everything is that way.
Because Brad has an incredible sense of history of this program.
It's incredible, and he's their PR department, but he's working for the Grand
No,
Forks
I don't
Setup.
know if he
So
actually
I
tweeted
asked
that.
him-
I was seeing some fans.
I will say this though. I did a podcast with him because I think he's an interesting character.
Oh,
in
he's
the whole world.
and I'll say this. I was a college hockey reporter for 25 years or whatever it was. He is far and away the top reporter in college hockey.
Yeah.
This is not in any way a criticism of what he does or what he is.
So I asked him. I asked him like where did he grow up and kind of did his life story, his little 1 hour pod.
Yep.
And somewhere in there it was like I think deep down the reason I put him on was because I wanted to ask him just this one question. What happens when some guy gets a DWI or gets in a fight at a bar? You know what I mean, like that.
Yeah.
Because you are their PR department, really. It just
Yeah, a
seems
little
like
bit.
that. And there was a pause. He's like, "Well, we have one rule here at the Herald. If it's in the police report, it's going to be in the paper on Monday."
Okay.
And that's the way he left it.
Seems like
and
a good one.
I learned from that. I'm like, okay, what I took that as a journalist is if it's factually reported, if it's true, report it. You can't be in trouble for reporting something that's true. And that's basically what Brad was saying. It's great, Sometimes it's shots on goal. Sometimes it's, Sasha Boivar. Didn't he get charged with something? It's kind of like the guy.
No, I don't think he ever got charged.
But that got out pretty good, though, didn't it?
I know we were all talking about it last year, but I don't think there was ever any charges against anybody because I think we kept looking for something.
We kept looking for
but
charges.
I don't
We
think
never
there
found
ever
it.
were. Yeah.
I think it was Boisvert and maybe even Emery, wasn't
Yeah, I don't remember the whole story, but
feel
I
like
don't
there was
think
a fight.
anyone.
There
I
was a
don't think
fight
anyone
on
got
campus.
charged though for that or anything.
Oh, I know what it was. There was video.
There was video. Of it.
Prevalent video of them scrapping outside of a
But
bar
I
or
don't
a
think
frat house.
I
or
don't
something
think there
like
was
that.
ever charges or anything.
And of course, that video never seemed to make it into Brad's feed.
I'll say this
Just
too.
amazing coincidence.
What is it? I mean, and stuff happens at every school. But man, just in my head right now, I thought of like 6 or 7 things that have happened at North Dakota with North Dakota players with just goofy off ice stuff.
Yeah.
Some of it wound up in the police report. Some of it, you just heard about. A guy runs a couple miles outside in the winter and almost has to have toes amputated because he froze his feet. I'm not using any names here. There was the player that was like throwing his lawnmower and stuff out into the street from his garage in the house he lived in. There was a very prominent player who got stuck in an elevator and had to use the bathroom and just did so there. And
yikes!
There was the player who stole a handful of pull tabs, just reached around at a bar.
I remember that one.
Yeah. There was a player
Never charged.
Never charged.
I'm sure there's so many of these stories at every program that
my favorite
would be
one
so
was
fun to hear about.
a player, a North Dakota player, got apprehended by police and is sitting in the backseat of a police car waiting for whatever. Another player just comes and opens the door and lets him free, and So I mean, that's just at one school that I've thought about, and that's probably in the last 15, 20 years.
I love these.
Yeah.
I'll say this, though, in Brad's defense, this was always my greatest fear when I was covering the Gophers and I was traveling on the team plane with the Gophers. Number one, you had a rule.
There's a little bit of a fine line there.
Yeah,
right?
you had a rule that anything I saw, anything I heard on the plane is off the record.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if, for example, a Gopher player gets hurt in a game on Saturday night at Notre Dame, and an hour later I get on the plane and that guy's got his arm in a sling, which actually happened, I can't run out and report this player has an arm injury from whatever. I have to just say upper body, unknown, even though you see stuff that happens. But this was my greatest fear. I'm on the plane with these guys going to, let's say, Penn State. And then Friday night, and this didn't ever happen, but let's say it did. Friday night after the game, a Gopher player gets in trouble doing something. I have to write about that. Again, if it's in the police report.
And get back on the plane.
And then I have to get back on the plane with these guys and sit next to them.
Well, it's
When
their
they're all
job
looking
to
at
kill
me like-
penalties. It's their job to score goals. It's your job to report what happened.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to put me on this plane ever again, but I have to report that.
But I got and for example, I was at Penn State, having flown out there with the Gophers, when the news broke of the Chico Adradas story, the coach back in the 80s who had been accused of, sexual misconduct.
Atrocities.
I'm sitting at a hotel at Penn State, and I'm letting the Gophers know, hey, I'm going to write about this today. I have to.
They don't have any problem with that.
No, and when Bob Motzko was asked about it a couple days later, he said, hey, it happened before I was here, so it certainly wasn't part of my program, but it makes you sick when you read about some of these things. He was straight up about it. There's no defending that kind of behavior just because it happened in your program 40 years ago or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But anyway.
You're the messenger. Don't kill the messenger.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I would have that fear too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If I had that job, I would have told every player, I'm like, do me a favor. Don't mess up on the road, please, because I have to report it.
Yep.
And then you're going to hate me, and then I got to take a separate flight, so you're not going to let me on the plane.
One of the most angry Bob.
But if they didn't let you on the plane, just imagine you could make a story out of that.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not about me. It's not about me as a reporter. But no, one of the most angry calls I ever got from Bob Motzko.
Oh, I love these. Angry calls from Bob. Brought to you by...
I made a dumb joke, okay, on social media. This is during the pandemic, and if you remember, the limit was you could have 150 people in the building.
Oh, God.
That was it.
Yeah.
10,000-seat building, you could have 150 there. So it was
total players, staff, everything?
no in the stands.
In the stands, okay.
So it was basically just the parents from both teams. They played, I want to say Notre Dame, Friday night game, and we get the official the score sheet afterwards, and it lists the attendance as like 143. Okay, so there's 7.
You called it a near capacity crowd.
So my dumb joke was 143 in a 150 capacity building. Gophers still having trouble selling out. And oh my God, the tweet wasn't out there 2 minutes, and Bob's on the phone, and he didn't appreciate my lame attempt at humor.
I think it's kind of funny.
I thought it was too.
I would have said near capacity,
but it was
crowd.
a weird time, because we're.
True.
And hey, thank God they found a way to play that season because
yes,
that's true.
And that was great hockey. But the only thing I was just wishful for, it's stupid, but Minnesota and Wisconsin have the longest standing football rivalry in college football history, and it was like a whisker away from being postponed that fall.
Yeah,
just get that game.
Oh, remember
in.
that whole controversy? Kevin Warren was the Big Ten commissioner,
and his kid was playing football for Mississippi State,
and his kid's playing the SEC, and they're playing, but the Big Ten's not. And oh goodness,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, how did we get there, Sydney? Let's get back to hockey
let's
here.
get back to that. I was just going to make a few other notes on the Minnesota Duluth win. I said the week before that, versus the Huskies, I thought they needed some more guys to step up and not just the Warhawk line guys, and they had just that. So it seems like that really helped them. They got goals from guys like Harper Bentz and then Callum Arnott and the Gaffney on their team as well. I believe that one's Kyle and the one on St. Thomas is Alex, if I'm getting their first names right.
You got it right.
But they got some scoring not from those guys, which I think really helps too. So when everybody's playing well for Duluth, they are a very good team. So we'll kind of see. And Jan Spunar for North Dakota, who's their goalie, who's fresh off of winning NCHC Goalie of the Year, had 5 goals allowed on 22 shots, so I don't know if every goal was really good or maybe just an off night a little bit, but Adam Guyon on the other side made 33 saves, so seems like Minnesota Duluth just really played a pretty solid game for the most part.
Bentz is who jumped up.
I got the line chart here, so it's Plant, Harper Bentz, Moorhead kid, originally from Bismarck, North Dakota. And then Shagabay's playing with Cal Arnott and Luke Bibby on the third line.
Yeah, and Arnott scored. I think Shogby also scored. So
yeah, Truman, Gaffney, Hunter Anderson, all non-Minnesotans on that second line.
Ryan, you were boots on the ground in Warroad over the weekend.
I was.
Are we going to have the Carson Pilgrim, Jason Shogby reunion next year? What do you think? What's your gut tell you?
Yeah, because I've been hearing Duluth, I've been hearing Michigan State, I've been hearing St. Cloud State, I've been hearing CC.
Well, according to those fellas, his buddies, he's going to tour a bunch of schools. But
smart. Yep.
I think
make an educated choice.
I think if I had to bet, I'd go UMD and Michigan State are the 2 front runners.
Interesting.
But I did hear St. Thomas reached out as well as Colorado College. I think you reported that. But if I had to put money on it, I would say he's going to be reunited with the Dogs.
I'm also going to say this, and you heard this here first. I would also bet that he goes back to juniors next year.
Interesting.
I could definitely see that.
Well, because at that point, then he wouldn't even be playing probably with all those guys at UMD.
Correct.
In the future, they'd be gone for sure. Even if they come back next year, they'd only play together.
Shagaby's going to be a Syracuse crunch before he would arrive
after
on
this
campus.
year, you think?
I would think so. Yeah, I would think he'll give it 3 years of college and then Tampa.
He's
will
played
get him
2.
into the system.
Or do you think Pilgrim's going to want to go
I,
to college?
I will say after next
year.
He'll go. Yeah.
He'll play one. He'll play one more year of college. I don't know that. I'm just speculating.
Or do you think Pilgrim wants to go somewhere he can play this fall?
That's why he decommitted from that school. They said you got to go another year. That's fair. That's
North
fairly
Dakota
well
said
documented.
You could come here, but
I think he's going to go back into the market and he's going to find out. This is my intuition than anything. He's going to get back in the market and everyone's going to be like, "Hey, we're full for next year as of right now."
Yeah.
But
for those top schools,
when Connor Kurse of the world leave, all of a sudden there's vacancies at the inn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
And I think that's what could happen. He could get a spot that way, but
cool.
That might not be in the next 6. He'll find out in the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Well, good that he's taken time to tour some schools and think about it. And
Sydney, were you alive in 1998?
Not quite.
Okay.
Nope.
Almost.
99.
Almost.
So in Sydney,
he's the same grade as Jacob and Jake.
In Sydney's life, she has never seen a Warroad kid play for the Minnesota Gophers. Think about that.
No, I've seen him play for a lot of other
Carson
teams.
could be a Gopher?
I'm just saying he could be.
I like that.
He
I
could
would love
be.
to see that.
Interesting.
I think they absolutely would have taken Jason Shoggoby. I know that. I know they were interested in the Sklinski boys at one point, and they wound up going elsewhere. So
Interesting.
Wyatt Smith, last
Wow.
Warrior boy to play for the Gophers.
You're right.
Wow.
Crazy to think.
Originally from
80,
80 miles down the road near Greenbush.
yeah.
Thief River Falls guy.
Originally.
All the way back to the NCHC. The championship game this weekend will be Minnesota Duluth at Denver on Saturday. For context, this season Denver swept the pair of regular season games 4-3 and 1-0, so pretty close. But Denver is looking a lot like Denver right now, if that makes any sense. For NCHC awards to mention, Minnesotans, Eric Polkamp is the NCHC Offensive Defenseman of the Year. Adam Kleber is the Defensive Defenseman
That is
of
the
the
dumbest
Year.
thing I've ever heard
I
in my
don't know why
life.
they have both, but
What?
makes sense.
I like them both. Love both kids, but that's dumb.
Hampton Slukinski won their 3 Stars Award. And Blake Mesenberg, shout out from Miami, Ohio,
what did he
wins
get?
the Sportsmanship Award.
Good.
That's cool.
Here's my comparison,
I like
and this is timely. The Oscars were
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah.
The Oscars have Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Picture.
Best supporting actor.
Pretty straightforward,
Yeah.
right? Then you watch the Golden Globes, and they have Best Actor in a Drama, Best
Oh,
Actor
all
in
the
a comedy,
categories, yeah.
Best, and that to me is defensive defenseman, offensive defenseman,
Yeah.
offensive right wing,
Pretty much.
puck handling goalie. Like, how many awards do you need?
Or I think usually, too, they have Defensive Forward of the Year, too. And it's like, okay, this
Yeah.
is getting to be a lot.
And I know the NHL has that.
But
they have,
yeah, yeah.
defensive forward award and things like that. But
It does make sense, but it is a lot. at
I'll
the
just
same
say this too: as a voter for the Mike Richter Award, they have a certain standards, and it's all based on numbers of what makes you a candidate for the Richter and what doesn't. They have a certain goals against and a certain saves percentage you have to make.
Was Bartoskevich on that list?
I believe he was.
Okay.
Hampton Sklinski was not, and I'm disappointed in that because I truly think he's one of the 10 best goalies in college hockey. And
Do his numbers not equal that or something?
Well, they had
numbers.
kind of an up and down. I
Or were
feel
they
like a
watching the
couple early
Matamidi
games that were up
game
and
from
down.
a few years ago?
Ooh,
Sorry.
Wow.
Hey, the love we've given those brothers. in that
Western had a
family
couple
is
up and
way
down
out.
games
I was just giving a
early.
hard time.
Early in the season, so that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But now they're
So
getting
anyway,
hot, so-
I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yes.
saying he would have won the Richter Award, but I do think he's truly one of the, in terms of what he means to his team, I do think
Yeah.
he's one of the top 10 goalies in the country.
No argument here.
First team all NCHC players from Minnesota include Max Plant, obviously, Eric Polkamp, obviously, and Cruz Lucius as well. So that's kind of cool.
How about Arizona State having a first team all NCHC guy and not
Yeah.
making the
And Bennett Shimmick as
Playoffs.
well, which I'll talk about later in signings.
Signings. There's a lot of signings this week.
Yeah. Big Ten playoffs, semifinals. Michigan beats Penn State 5-2, and Ohio State takes down Michigan State in overtime
OT.
3-2. A couple notables. Garrett Shifsky had an interesting goal. I don't know if you guys saw it.
I did
Knocks
not.
Gavin McKenna's stick out of his hand, just clear as day, scoops it, it flies. McKenna follows his stick instead of covers him, and then he gets a pass and scores immediately.
I love that.
Kind of a great goal, so kind of a funny one. I think it was shorthanded possibly as well, so kind of a cool one there. Ohio State gets the game-winning goal from RPI transfer Felix Caron. I'm not sure how to say his name, but a guy who's done pretty well for them this year, kind of a random transfer in from RPI. Eberle had 36 saves for them, so that's a big win for Ohio State, who will need the auto bid
One step
to
away.
win. The championship game is Saturday. It's Ohio State plays Michigan. Ohio State, like I said, will need the auto bid to
Oh,
keep
yeah.
the season alive. Michigan did sweep all 4 regular season games, though, but one did go to overtime, so it could be pretty close.
I mean, if anybody wouldn't want someone to make the tournament, it's Michigan not letting Ohio State in.
This is what I love though about this time of year. So the early game, Michigan handles Penn State 5-2. Michigan's in the championship.
Right.
If Michigan State wins, they have to go to Munn and
Yes.
play your arch rivals in their rink, which they've done the last couple of years and not gone so well for them. Their historical rivals, the guys they hate more than anybody, Ohio State. All of a sudden, you're rooting for Ohio State to win
And now you're playing at
because
home.
then you can play the game at home. And lo and behold, Ohio State
Nobody wants
had
that.
Michigan State's number in the last month of the season. They go to their building in the regular season, they win big, and then they lose in like a 12-round shootout,
Yep.
and then they go there in the playoffs and win. So
I want to say shout out Ohio State, too, because obviously they get kind of overshadowed by all the other Big Ten teams this year that are so good, but they've actually been having a decent
They're okay.
season,
yeah.
honestly. I feel like they've had some pretty good players, and they're one of those teams that I think is around 20 in the NPI. So they've actually had a pretty good season, all things
Didn't
considered.
they come into Mariucci and get swept?
No,
I
they
don't
came.
remember.
They came to Mariucci and swept the Gophers.
They did.
In,
Yeah, they've
in
had some
February.
decent results, actually.
Gophers-
It was
Gophers-
Wisconsin who they swept.
Gophers
Yeah.
riding a high, coming off that home sweep of Wisconsin. Okay, we're
Oh,
finally
that's what
figuring it
was.
out.
Yeah.
And then
Got some
Steve
traction.
Rollick.
Remember, they got some traction.
Yep. Steve Rollick comes in here and wins 2, and it's like, okay, we're done.
It's over.
So
It's over.
they're doing pretty good, actually. But before we get
Drive
into
safely. Please check around your seats for items you may have
Yeah.
misplaced. The Gophers, thank you for your attendance,
Yeah.
and we'll see you back here next year.
Before we get into the other conferences, Tony, do you want to talk about the USHL?
Yeah, there's a lot going on with the USHL. I mean, right now, a lot of the high school kids from Minnesota are leaving their high schools and playing. I feel like there were dozens of them. Blake Sinclair scored. KJ Sauer scored. It's fun to see kids go from high school on to juniors that are done with their high school careers, or they're maybe juniors in high school and they're going to getting some experience.
Yeah.
It's a great place to develop. I was talking to Joe Molina on our Monday morning commute about how great your guys' junior podcast is doing with traction, really getting some
It's cool to hear.
some new listeners and new followers. You guys put out some great content, and none of that content would be possible if it weren't for the USHL and Glenn Heffron, the commissioner's belief in everything that we do. He listens to our show. He listens to your show, by the way. And he
Nice.
goes, you know what I like about it? It's like you guys talk about the WHL, you talk about the NUL, you talk
A
about
little bit,
junior
yeah, a bit.
hockey, even though we're the sponsor, and we want that. If there's something that's newsworthy, we want to be sponsoring
Yeah.
the news and the platform that is YHH. We believe in your platform. He believes in us. We believe in them.
That's cool.
And I think it's a great partnership with them.
Yeah.
And we want nothing more than to someday, and I tell him every time we talk, every time I'm on the phone with him, I'm like, buddy, we got to get in the Mem Cup. We got to get you in the Mem Cup, because it would make amateur hockey in North
Yeah.
America just something cool. Like, why is this important? It's huge. It's our brand of hockey versus their brand of hockey. And granted, there's
Yeah.
Canadians in our league and there's Americans
I
in
wanna
theirs,
see-
but it would be the greatest.
My hockey
I'd be
journey,
interested.
my hockey journey will be complete when I can see Fargo play Chicoutimi.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's Fargo or Dubuque playing one of those teams in a tournament.
Yeah.
I'd be because I know,
It'd be cool.
and you guys know, we follow this Minnesota thing.
Dubuque
quite a bit.
is the Victoria of Eastern Iowa.
It is.
Everyone has said that for years.
It is, and Sioux City is the Kelowna of Iowa.
I would
for
think
sure.
I think it's more of a Red Deer clone.
It is.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I-
gosh.
I think pretty much all the cities in the USHL are more like the Red Deer than Kelowna,
Yeah.
if you ask me. But that being said, if let's just take that Fargo
Little note,
Dubuque.
by the
Remember
way,
that
for-
Fargo Dubuque series that you went
Yeah,
to?
absolutely. Fantastic.
Wouldn't it be cool? Let's just use that team. Wouldn't it have been cool to see Leah Gruba playing against the London Knights?
Yeah, absolutely.
I
would
think it'd be
it's
so
the
interesting,
coolest
yeah.
thing ever. And it would be great for amateur hockey in all of North America.
Yeah.
It all kind of starts out when they're
cool.
younger, and then they play junior hockey, and they either get drafted in the NHL or they go play college. I think it'd be great for college hockey.
Yeah.
It'd be great for college hockey.
And I think we're
Absolutely.
recording another episode of the Junior Pod tomorrow. I just talked to Drew and Peter, so I think we're recording tomorrow. We'll see what weird tangents we get onto tomorrow. I'm glad people
Whatever
like it,
the
though,
weird
'cause we
tangents
get-
are,
we
it's
get
working 'cause
really
people like it. We
random.
don't have them on
I
our
love
show.
it.
We're very
Yeah.
regimented here.
Well,
we don't
for example,
ever get
I
off
think
on
last
tangents.
week we were talking about wrestling.
Drew's got some like left field tangents, but I love that
We like to shout out Pine City a lot since
I
Drew's
figured.
on the show.
It's kind of like he's the resident like Jess.
yeah,
right?
Jess
Like, we
Jess
get
has
to
world stories.
really
Drew
quick.
has
So
really
funny.
good Pine City stories.
Yeah, Drew will be
so-
talking about like the Mac fries or something, but then he'll just like drop some like really like well
Some lore
informed
about Pine
USHL
City.
take on top of it
Well,
too.
the fact that he's the media person for the Madison Capitals means he's seeing all
Oh,
of these
yeah.
teams come through his building, and he's
Yep.
tracking them
Yeah,
all.
he's got some great insight on the Minnesotans, and now Tyden's back out there.
He
Bodie
did get-
McConnell's out
He
there.
did get his chops busted a little bit. Did you see that?
Tied in or Drew?
No, Drew. So the Capitals, Bodie McConnell.
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
Bodie McConnell. and
We'll
it was a
talk
good,
about
it was
that
a,
tomorrow. We'll talk
It was
about
a
that
go.
tomorrow.
He's good for sure going to be on the show. So Bodie McConnell played for Edina.
Mm-hmm.
He's a junior in high school, and he went to the Madison Capitals. And I'm sure Bodie will be a college hockey player. We'll be talking to him someday
Oh, yeah.
on this show. But and Drew, who does the graphics, I presume, put called up.
Uh-oh.
And John Conley, who I've known since junior golf days in high school, John Conley has called up. That's funny. He just got done playing in a 1,000-seat game in front of 19,000, and he's going to go play in a rink with 1,107 fans in it. How is that called up?
Wait, he's going to St. Thomas?
No,
Oh,
that's 320.
I went there.
That's 320 fans. No, I'm talking about just saying in USHL.
We'll debate
it was
that.
good
We'll debate
content.
that
I'm saying
tomorrow.
that's and John had a good.
Yeah.
That's a good take from John. It's
But it
like,
is-
Yeah, but it is.
It's called. You're called up. It is. Yeah, it's higher.
He was
level of
saying
hockey.
the term should be activated, not called up. Is what he was trying to say.
You know what that
Well-
reminds me of, though, is we've gone to the on-campus sites for the NCHC and the WCHA,
Love
and,
it.
all of those. But just to be nostalgic for a second, the old WCHA Final Five, we've talked about it, was
Amazing.
How
amazing.
does that work? By the way, 5 teams.
5 plays
You had
4.
a Thursday night 4-5
play-in game.
Oh, okay.
and then
but
Yeah.
and
Friday
Don,
night. Let me understand. The Friday night of the Final Five was on par with the high school tournament. Friday
I'm having
night.
serious.
and they were like
NCHC
back-to-back
FOMO
weekends.
Right
yeah.
now. I wish it was
But
in St.
Don
Paul
Lucia
still.
made this point: is you play in the Final Five, and Friday night you'd get UMD Minnesota with 18,000 people in the building, and then Saturday night you'd get Minnesota North Dakota or Duluth St. Cloud with a sold out at the time XL Energy Center, now Grand Casino Arena. Amazing, just the atmosphere, the hockey, all of that, and then a week later. You were in Worcester, Massachusetts, and
Playing
there were
against
700
There's
people
nobody
there
Yeah.
with the main band, playing some song you've never heard of. And it was like, talk about a buzzkill,
Yeah.
The higher level is the NCAA tournament, but like in a lot of cases, the Frozen Four couldn't even match the atmosphere of the conference tournament.
2003 national championship in
Buffalo.
Was it Buffalo?
Yep. Minnesota beat New Hampshire.
UNH.
Yep.
Was that in Buffalo?
Buffalo, New York.
Yeah, okay. There weren't a lot of people at that game.
No, wasn't a huge crowd.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
watching that
Well,
game
and
on
in
TV
fact,
going,
not
"There's
to
nobody
rip
there."
not to rip Buffalo, but the last time I was there, Minnesota Duluth beats UMass for the title in 2019. Place is half full.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cale McCarr's last collegiate
Is that
game.
because of it's just not a destination?
I mean,
And
I mean,
college
it's
hockey
not
fan base.
Really, yeah.
not a destination. And I'll say this too: Buffalo wasn't easy to get to or
Yeah,
get
it's
home
not
from.
necessarily the easiest destination.
Yeah,
to get
yeah,
to.
And you have to go where there's college hockey fan
You had to
bases, right?
connect. Flights
No,
had
if
to
it's in
connect. and-
Boston or Vegas, that's an easy place to fly into.
absolutely, or St. Paul, or
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
MSP, yeah.
or and it's been in DC, it's been in Chicago, it's been in a lot of places with direct flights.
That too, but it's also like the direct flights is big, but also the fact that there should be some college hockey fan bases nearby for them to, if you come here.
We had a Frozen Four here 2 years ago with Denver, Boston College, Boston University, and who was the fourth team that was here?
Denver, BC, BU, and Michigan was.
And Michigan.
Michigan.
So you didn't have anywhere near local, and you had good fans because there are college hockey fans in this market. It's a good hockey market. Buffalo's a great hockey market, but it's not a college hockey
Not a
market.
college hockey.
I'm
market.
sorry.
That was what I was getting
I'm
at.
sorry, Niagara and Canisius. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to be insulting, but you don't have the fan bases
Is
of.
St. Louis a hockey market?
I think it's a good pro
more
hockey
so,
market.
Yeah.
Was anybody there last year,
And what's cool about St. Louis too, this
Was it
is
last year?
or is it this year?
it was last
Vegas.
year. It was in
Last
St.
year,
Louis.
last
It was
year.
Vegas
last
is
year,
this year. St. Louis is a place. This fascinated me. If you play for the Blues, if you played for the Blues 17 years ago, you live in St. Louis. They've got a huge
Really?
Blues alumni
Oh,
group
yeah.
there that people go to live there and they like it there and they stay there.
That's cool.
So the Blues alumni group is big. They've got a great practice facility. That's where Lindenwood plays.
Brand new, right?
Yep.
That's where they played.
Relatively new.
They played a regional there like 3 years ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
Crazy.
Michigan State, North Dakota were in it.
And,
Yeah.
In a building
and
that
Western
seats
Michigan.
and
Western Michigan.
in a building that doesn't have that many seats. And
Yeah.
2,700.
yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Speaking of Buffalo and the East Coast, I don't have super intense game results for these games, but thought we'd breeze through them because there was some interesting results. Hockey East tournament, the quarterfinals, UConn beats BU 5-3. UMass beats Northeastern 4-1. Merrimack upsets Providence in OT, and Boston College beats Maine. Obviously,
Sydney, do you have a quarter? If
have
you
a
do, let's
quarter?
flip it. BU Minnesota. Who had the more disappointing
Oh
season?
gosh.
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
You think
Barely.
so?
I don't know.
BU started the season.
Well, wait, I think BU did because they have better players.
Honestly, BU and BC are both very
BU was in the
disappointing.
national championship game last year, and they started
point.
this season ranked number
Good point.
2 in the country.
Good
Yeah.
point.
And
I
they
don't know.
and they brought in great players.
You know, and not that this makes the Gopher season any better, but I don't think anybody started this year saying, "Oh yeah, this Gopher team is going to the Frozen Four."
No, yeah, I don't think anybody
You know,
really was.
and in fact, I will attest to this. We can run the tape back from September or October. I was telling people, you know, if Bob Motzko is going to have a bad year, this is going to be it.
Yep.
You know, there were very low expectations on this Gophers team, and they met all of those low expectations.
Yeah.
This BU team was
I'm blaming it all on Connor Kurth, by the way. I'm just trying to get listeners, by the way.
sure.
And we can save the Boisvert
But that's the type of
chat
player they were
for
missing.
later.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll save that for signings.
But yeah, BU, man, throw this one in the trash
Yeah.
and forget about it. What a lousy season for the Terriers. For
So they had
for a
the
program with high expectations.
quarters and then the semis, because they're a little behind the other teams. So they have the semifinals, I believe Friday is Merrimack plays UMass and BC plays UConn on Friday. UMass and UConn are both bubble teams right now, and BC would be out, so would Merrimack. So they pretty much all need the win. So this is one of those tournaments that like
Everyone
I had to
needs a
take-
win. Now
Yep.
that Providence is out,
now there's another team that
Because
this
Providence
is
is
an
a
upset.
lock.
Providence
right?
is a
Providence
lock.
is a lock.
Yeah.
They're a lock. They're the only lock, right? Yeah.
And
they're
by the way-
Providence, I believe
I don't-
was
I don't have the number in
because
front of me, but
UConn is 15, so like
Yeah,
you'd assume
they're
they're the highest
bubble.
one left. But if they lost, they would not be.
they'd be
yeah.
out. UMass is 14.
Oh, so so all
Both
of them
those
pretty much
teams-
would probably need.
If
the,
UMass could sneak in,
they'd have to win their semi for sure.
yes, they both need to win their semis, and then
Especially because they
get some
play
help.
Merrimack in the semis, and Merrimack is not high. So if they lost that, they'd be out. So they all basically need to win to get in. Championship game, I believe, is Saturday. Not a Minnesotan, but Hockey East first team defender Brandon Holt of Maine, who's from Grand Forks. Had a good season this year, so that's kind of cool. ECAC, the ECAC tournament. The quarterfinals, best of threes. Cornell beat Harvard, Dartmouth beat Colgate, Princeton beat Union, and Clarkson upsets Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac's playoff woes continue in the ECAC. They just, for some reason, are never good in their conference tournament. So they're in, but they just are never
And Cornell had to go
caring
3
very
games
much.
to beat Harvard, correct?
I think so, yeah. I think they
Yeah.
played Sunday. So the semifinals are now set. It's 8 seed, I believe, Clarkson versus 2 Dartmouth, and then Princeton and Cornell. The championship game, I believe the semis are Friday, championship Saturday. Dartmouth and Cornell are both in.
Yep.
Princeton and Clarkson would need the auto bid.
Keep an eye on Princeton and Clarkson.
Yeah, that'd be kind of, Clarkson would be cool because obviously we have Minnesotans for sure on
Lots of
Clarkson. I don't
Minnesotans.
think we do on Princeton. I don't
Nope.
think we have any.
No.
And then Atlantic hockey, I know the least about, but it's gone pretty much according to plan. Best
Yep.
of 3 series. Bentley beat Holy Cross, and Sacred Heart beat Robert Morris in 3 games,
Yep.
I believe. So Bobby Moe. putting up
Bobby
a
Moe
fight.
is gone.
Bobby Moe's gone. And then Saturday will be the single game final, Sacred Heart at Bentley. And then whoever wins that will be the lone team from Atlanta.
They'll be the 16 seed.
Bentley's looking
sure.
for a return trip. You know, they were there last year.
Yeah, and they were good.
They put that
last year in
scare
the
of God into
BC.
Boston College. Speaking of that, Tony, we remember 1988, right? My freshman year of college.
Yep.
That was the last time that BC and BU both missed the NCAA tournament the
Wow.
same year. 1988.
So I guess BC is going to try to make it
What?
to the final.
Ronald Reagan was president of the United States then.
No, he
Wow.
wasn't.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
George H.W. Bush won the 88
Oh, he would
election.
have been elected in the fall of '88,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, BC has a chance still.
BC has a
small
chance. But think about
chance.
that. 1988 was the last time both
If
teams
BC
missed.
If BC,
And that, by the way, comes from my friend Paul Shaheen from the Research on Ice podcast.
That's
Another
incredible.
good listen if you get a chance.
Wow.
that's incredible.
Wow. Before we keep going with some notables, some signings, all that stuff, shout out to our other sponsor, APX. I did just post this morning, the portal spreadsheets are up if you're a portal crazed
Saw
person
that.
like me.
What's the window for the
I
portal?
don't believe the men's one is going to be very active for another week or two, just because right now only grad transfers, I believe, can go in, and there's not many. Because
If anybody
obviously
knows
it's
it's
a big
you, don't
thing.
say I believe. Just be confident. You know that.
I don't actually know the exact date for the men's. I want to say it's like April something, so it's
That's
not.
the end date.
No,
The end date was
start,
shrunk, right?
The start date, I believe, is
Oh, really?
April. Let me double. I have it on my page.
Isn't the window like shrunk?
It is a lot shorter, but the women's portal is active. There's not many names in it yet, but I believe the women's portal will probably get pretty busy this week.
Any big names in the women's portal?
Not yet, but I assume today will probably be the day where we're going to get a bunch of
women's
women's
stuff. You were running hard with that Evan Bushy, like,
Well, that was like, there's one Minnesotan in there. So I have those up on APX under the databases tab for anyone interested. The men's portal, let me look it up. I clicked on the wrong one. 1 second. Because I have the date on here. I believe it opens April 13th, so after the Frozen Four.
Okay, so the Monday after.
So there still will be people entering before that, dependent, because it's all asterisk depending on your situation and financial aid and coaching changes and if you graduated, and there's all these asterisks. So I'm not even going to go through all the ways you can enter, but there's a couple names, not many, but the women's portal should be getting busy fairly soon because their season's almost over because they're Frozen Four set now, which is kind of cool. And then a few other stories. I talked with Brock Cheslock last week from Rogers. He's had a crazy few weeks of Omaha and then playing in Fargo and then back to Minnesota for the Mr. Hockey Banquet and then back to Omaha. So he was fun to talk with. And then I talked to Tony, the Minnesotan we didn't know, Will Subject, who's playing in the Dub. He committed to Maryville. He's from Wayzata, so I found out a little bit more about him because we both were like...
Is he an APX kid?
No, but I just wanted to know more about him and write about him. And it turns out he played 2 years for Wayzata High School, but kind of split between varsity and JV. And then after his, I believe it was junior year, he went to Wayzata to state with them 1 year.
Yep.
And then after his junior year, went out to a couple WHL camps just to kind of see how he did and ended up making the roster. So then he just decided I have to take this opportunity and
but this is way before the college was.
Yeah.
He was signing a pro venture at that point.
So he was just like, this seems like I can't turn this down. I got to do it. And then now he's going to Maryville.
For him.
He's going to Maryville now. And guess who one of his teammates and roommates are that's also going to Maryville?
Ooh.
Who's also a Minnesotan going to Maryville.
Well, we
Tanner Brinder. Yeah. So I was kind of like, wow, small world of all these Minnesotans and a couple that are going to Maryville. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's more, too, that end up going there. So kind of cool.
That's why when this came open, I'm like, there's just more Minnesota kids getting a chance to play D1.
Yeah.
Since you mentioned the women's portal, I just want to give a quick shout out. Kind of a surprising early end of the season for the Gopher women. They lose in the regional semifinal.
Yeah, Northeastern.
To Northeastern, 4-2. Abby Murphy with both goals. Yeah. That to me is the tough part. Abby Murphy has been so much fun to watch during her career as a Gopher.
Doubt about it.
And I'll make this prediction once again. Abby Murphy will be the first $1 million a year player in the PWHL.
She's one of those players that everyone likes to rip on, but I'm like, you want her on your team because you do not want to play against Abby.
Absolutely. And her style and her attitude and all that is so perfectly suited to the PWHL.
You want her on your team and not on the opposing team.
Absolutely. So good luck to her. And Northeastern spoiled it. We would have had an all Big Ten women's Frozen Four. Because
that's right. Penn State
Wisconsin, Penn State, and Ohio State all made the Frozen Four, and Northeastern screwed it all up. But it raises the question, with all the talk at the University of Michigan about adding women's hockey, and there was more last week.
Should hop on the
Bring it on.
How close are we to the same kind of upheaval in women's hockey that we've seen in men's hockey over the last 20 years?
Bring it on.
With the advent of a Big Ten league.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that.
So kind of circling back, so shout out to...
And I made this point, by the way, speaking of the Big Ten, since we're on this topic, the Iowa Heartlanders, who play in Coralville, Iowa, of the ECHL, are suspending operations.
Yeah, we broke that last week.
Not going to be around next year.
On the show.
So let me reiterate once again, hey, University of Iowa, there's a building right in your neighborhood.
Right down the street.
Got a whole bunch of open dates.
Yeah. So again...
make it happen.
Before we get into...
That's the thing, they have a building.
Yeah. You have a building and a conference.
Yeah.
There's no excuse.
Two of the biggest obstacles to starting a program is you need a building and you need a conference. You have both of them in Iowa City.
Plenty of players.
Yeah.
Plenty of players.
Do you think good college-bound players would like playing in Iowa? Oh, wait. Have you heard of the USHL?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, don't get me started.
So thanks to USHL and APX.
Plus, Hawkeye hockey just sounds cool, doesn't it?
It does.
It does.
It does.
Black and gold. Come on, that'd be fantastic. You have that Hawkeye logo on the helmets.
Oh, awesome.
I would approve that. Iowa across the front.
I would approve the
or
Hawkeye
the big Hawkeye logo in the middle of the jersey. Oh,
Sweet.
come on. There's so many things you can do with this.
Yeah. They look like
and you know
Waro.
me, you
They would
and
look
I
like
are
Waro.
Cyclone guys because
Yeah.
because of our family. But yeah, anyway.
Okay. Well, on to other notables. This was a cool one I had to bring up. Not a Minnesotan, but Kyle Chauvette, I think is how you say his name, who is a senior goalie for New Hampshire, became the e-bug for the San Jose Sharks the day after his season ended.
Great story.
Kind of just a very random thing that happened, but you got to feel good for.
Where was the game? Was it in Boston?
In Boston.
I think it was in
I was
Boston.
going to say,
yeah.
I'm like,
But
That
kind of
makes
cool
sense.
that a college player ends up getting the call to be the e-bug. Kind of cool. I know there were some fun stories written about that, so that was cool to see. We texted about this in our text string. Chris Mayotte, the head coach of Colorado College, is extended 5 years. We were all a little puzzled by that. I was listening to some people, other people kind of talk about it, and people in the comments and people on Reddit who are kind of like, there's not a ton of, they're not doing terrible, but they're not doing great, so let's just keep it going, because I think it's hard to get that program right now so high, I guess. I know they're one of the more expensive schools. They're also a smaller school, so I don't know if they're just
Yeah, but
thinking
it's got
that's good enough. But
decades of tradition.
I know for
Oh,
all
yeah.
of us, we were
Great
kind
rink.
of we were all kind
Great
of
community.
surprised by that.
Everything.
Unbelievable school.
Because
Yeah.
all of us were kind of surprised by the extension because they haven't been horrible, but they just haven't been really very good either.
No.
So
Hasn't-
5
hasn't-
years seems like a lot.
This guy has not done anything.
He hasn't made
Yeah.
an NCAA tournament, has he?
no.
And I
don't
like
think
Chris
so.
Mayotte. He's a fantastic guy.
I just feel like they
so I'm
haven't
not
done
criticizing him. I'm just stating the facts. I don't think he's made an NCAA
Or
tournament.
even if there was an extension, I would have expected it to be a short one to kind of go, okay, we'll give you a little bit more time, but maybe they're just like, we got to lock it down. I don't know. But that's a little puzzling, I guess, to all of us. in our
That's
text
why I
string.
sent it to you guys. I'm like, does this make sense?
Yeah, we were all a
Colorado
little
College is a
confused.
very unique place. I'll just say that. If
Yeah.
you've been
Oh,
out
yeah.
there, it's a fantastic school, but it's roughly the size of Apple Valley High School. I mean, it's not
yeah,
a
isn't
big
it
school.
fairly small and also pretty expensive
It's
as
got
well?
it's got an enrollment of like 1,200. I want
I
to say
think
maybe
it's pretty
1,800.
small.
That's small. It's like Augustana.
It's a very small
Augustana's
school,
1,800.
and like its physical
Aren't
footprint
they
of the campus.
one of the schools that are on a weird schedule as
Yep.
well,
The
like
block plan.
trimesters or something?
One-
No, it's
Yeah.
the
No,
block
one.
plan. You take
Oh.
one class at a time for
Yeah.
like 3 weeks.
Oh, gosh.
Yep, I would love
Which-
that. I would have loved that.
With
But
my
yeah, but
attention
if you're
span,
a
I would have
student,
lasted about a
that'd
week and a
be-
half there.
I don't know.
I would have been great with that.
That's a love it or hate it type
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
a unique way of doing things. It's a small school. It's in a great community. Colorado
Oh,
Springs
yeah,
is
it's
amazing,
beautiful.
and it's got a fantastic on-campus rink now. But in a lot of ways, Colorado College was the birth of college hockey, and the story is fascinating because the Broadmoor Resort and Hotel, which had an ice arena, which is in Colorado Springs, they wanted entertainment for their guests.
Yeah.
So they pushed, this little school in Colorado Springs. Hey, you should start a hockey program because then we could have hockey games.
Yeah.
And like Jeff
While
Sauer,
our guests were coming
yeah,
in. Yeah.
Jeff Sauer, for example, told me he played at Colorado College. He said sometimes their games would start at like 8:30 or 9 p.m. because these well-to-do guests would want to have their nice formal dinner
Before they would
first,
go watch the hockey
and
game.
then dessert and then coffee, and then after dinner the entertainment was, oh, we've got a hockey game for you to watch. It just
Interesting.
Fascinating.
I did not know that.
Oh, and
Fascinating.
breaking news from the NCHC, not surprising, Max Plant, NCHC Forward of the Year.
Is he the offensive forward or the defensive
Well, the
forward?
defensive forward of the year is Tyson Gross from St. Cloud State. So Max Plant is
No.
the regular forward of the year, I guess. Not offensive forward, it just says forward of the year, and the other one says defensive forward. So that's
Make
kind
up
of
your
funny.
mind.
that's supporting actress in an R-rated comedy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna say.
Pretty much.
Other notable things, we talked about it, I think last week or the week before when St. Cloud's season was over. I assume the renovations are starting at the Herb Brooks National Hockey
They're going
Center.
to a hybrid.
Yeah, I believe so. And it sounds like, according to the Sauk Rapids Rice Youth Hockey Association Facebook page, it sounds like they're donating the practice boards.
From the
actually.
practice
I
facility?
think so, yeah. So
They-
that's kind of cool.
that's-
So they're
No, it's
also
not.
shrinking the practice facility ice
I'm
down
not
to.
sure of all the
No,
specifics.
Those
but-
boards are trash. Sauk
I don't know if
Sauk
it's-
Rapids Rice should be declining.
No, I think
the-
they're going to some outdoor rink, I
Oh,
think, in
yes,
Rice,
they'd be
maybe?
perfect.
So you're
That'd be
saying it's
perfect.
a gift.
They'd be perfect for
I
the
think
outdoor
according
rink.
to the
yes,
post-
they'd be
Tony,
perfect for
Tony
that.
is not only looking a gift horse in the mouth, he is punching a
I
gift
think
horse
they were
in the
going to
mouth.
go to like an outdoor rink in Rice,
Yes.
maybe?
Now this would be outstanding for that. Yeah. it'd
Shout
be
out
perfect
Rice,
for that.
Minnesota.
But I'm telling you, I've been in that rink. We
Oh, yeah.
sponsor a lot of programming.
Right,
at
a
both
lot of
rinks.
puck
Rice
marks.
is
a lot
Rice
of puck
the home-
marks in the glass. Okay, it's a beat up rink that their
Yeah.
practice rink. It's a little beat up.
Yeah.
Let's say
Is
that.
Rice the home of Treasure City?
I don't.
No, that's Royalton.
I think
Royalton.
that's technically
Royalton.
Royalton,
Yeah.
but Rice would be close.
You're in the right neighborhood.
I'm in the right. I know my rural
Keep-
Stearns County-ish
Keep
area.
taking
Highway
the
10.
highway a little further.
I
Yeah,
south.
Royalton's north of that.
I know,
Quite a
I
bit.
know my
Close.
Highway 10.
It's north of Sugar Daddy's too.
Gateway to Motley, they call it. I don't know.
The gateway to Motley. Yeah,
Wow.
there you go.
So that's kind of interesting. And then a couple early signings. We can get to Boisvert last, and you can give us your thoughts,
God, just
Tony.
gonna torch
Tyson
him.
Gross, by the way, sounds like was a pretty sought-after guy.
Yeah,
you
so
know.
Tyson
got
Gross
some size,
signs,
got some grit to his game. A little
Obviously,
sandpaper.
a little sad as a St. Cloud State fan because he would have had one more year of eligibility, but he had such good face-off numbers. He's a tall guy, and he can score. So he signs with, obviously, his hometown Calgary team. So if you're a kid, you're not going to pass up an offer
No.
from
No,
like,
absolutely
your
not.
hometown team. Cole Hudson, sophomore defender at BU. I believe he's a sophomore. Signs, not a shocker. Obviously, with their disappointing season as well, he's probably ready to get out. This one was a bit surprising. Gustav Stjernberg, defender at Bowling Green, signs with the Avalanche organization, and I believe he was the penalty minutes leader in the NCAA.
We talked about him.
So they needed some grit, I guess, more grit in their organization. Noah Powell, sophomore at Arizona State, signs in the AHL with Philly's organization, already has suited up for them. Not a surprise. He's a guy who's kind of seems like he's always on to the next level. He played at Ohio State for half a year, then went to the OHL, then went to Arizona State. Now he's signed already, so kind of just always on the move, one of those guys.
Carousel.
And then Tony's favorite, Sasha Boisvert, signs today with Chicago. It sounds like he's supposed to make his debut, I guess, this week. I don't know.
With the Blackhawks.
I guess so.
Maybe against the Minnesota Wild. They played
Yeah.
the Blackhawks twice this week.
I heard
Yeah.
it was possible, but I guess there was visa stuff they had to figure out. I'm not sure when he's actually
Is he
gonna
from?
play
Where's
with.
he from? He's from Quebec. or-
Quebec, I believe.
I
Yeah.
thought he was. Yeah.
So I don't know if you had any other thoughts on that, but
No, I'm just
that
saying
doesn't
the-
surprise
the-
anybody.
The Sasha Boisvert era in college hockey. We'll miss you, Sasha. I mean, I literally I've watched UND and I watched BU play probably
Yeah.
6 times. and
He's
I-
a good player, but obviously something's weird there,
yeah, something's
maturity
not right.
wise or
Maturity. That's where I'm
going
gonna
to
go with that.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to give. I don't know Sasha Boisvert. I don't know his situation other than he played for 2 schools. And these kids, some of these kids, have so many voices in their ears.
Oh, yeah.
From agents to parents to coaches
Yeah.
to the whatever pro team they've been drafted by. I do sympathize a little bit because it's hard to cut through all that noise. And you think about, when I was in college, when you were in college, I didn't have a dime to my name, and all of a sudden they're waving money in your face. I know it's a different world now with NIL
Right.
and all that. So just it's a tough time for some of these kids. And with all of that said, this guy leaves college hockey with a reputation that's tough.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying. Too.
I'm very
It's tough.
curious to see how he does because we saw he was very talented at North Dakota, but
Absolutely.
obviously there was rumors and stuff that there's just some other stuff going on around him, and then
And he was
obviously-
the only thing disappointing about BU this year. he
Yeah,
was the only
BU
one.
had
Only one, everything else-
Maybe there were a
less than
couple.
stellar season, but it sounds like he was hurt, and then there was also rumors of like maybe I guess I don't know if this is confirmed. So allegedly, maybe late to workouts or something. So I don't know all the details, but will he get there and then do really good because he needs to prove it, or is he going to get there and then it's going to suck because he hasn't really dominated the scene?
Correct.
And it's going to be really hard. so we'll see.
Here's a question before you rip off 2 Gophers and Gavin Best. I think the most interesting wire you want to keep an eye on is, and their pro team is doing really, really well, is Brody Zemer. Will he turn pro after 2 years of college?
His rights are owned by whom?
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
And they're red hot right now.
Oh, wait. That's, by the way, the free space. If you want to know who drafted a Gopher, it's usually Buffalo.
Yeah, pretty much.
Including Aaron Hughlin, but then they didn't sign him.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or Ryan Johnson. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas
Ryan
Vanek.
Did Ryan sign with them?
Yeah, he's played with them.
Okay.
He's been up and down, spent some time in Rochester. Another just fantastic kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
His dad is one of the best.
Speaking, unless you got any other thoughts.
No, that was it.
Okay.
I was like, before, we're going to read off Brody and Luke, and I'm like, okay.
Quick
but-
Ryan Johnson story. I did a thing one time. I said, what's the next? I asked a bunch of Gophers, what's the next team that should join Big Ten hockey? A lot of them surprisingly said North Dakota. I'm thinking of current Big Ten teams.
I love that.
Do you want to see Maryland? Do you want to see, whatever? Ryan Johnson, who's from Southern California.
UCLA or USC?
No, UC Irvine. He wants the Anteaters on the ice.
He said that?
Oh,
He
yeah.
said, why not UCI?
Well, yeah, he is from Orange County.
Yeah, he is. He's from Irvine, California,
That's
which
right.
home of
That's
the
right.
home of the Anteaters
Wow.
from University of California, Irvine.
Yeah.
That was his
Get all the
wish.
UC schools.
I
Get
like
Santa
that. I
Cruz.
like
Santa
Yeah,
Barbara,
absolutely.
get
Santa
all
Cruz,
them in.
Riverside. Why not?
Yeah.
Love that. I would love
Banana
college
slugs.
hockey.
Cal,
I mean, it
Cal,
took us
Cal Davis, make it
Yeah.
happen.
took us forever to get, the college, for college hockey to be, or pro hockey to be in the
Yeah.
Sun Belt. It's going to take us forever to get college hockey to be. We will get there though.
Yeah.
And I'll say this too: the first team that takes the plunge and does it is going to be a huge success. And here's why: there's just so many people there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For sure.
There are 10 times the number of college hockey talented playing kids in California right now than there are in North
And
Dakota.
a lot of their club teams have
and North Dakota's a
fire
hockey state,
outfits.
but it's just there's so many people in Southern California
If
and
you-
in Northern California.
If you've seen the club teams and all of their jerseys and stuff for all
It's
of those schools
fantastic.
over there, they're all so good.
It's
They look
fantastic.
awesome. So
Oh,
somebody
like
do it.
Oregon and UCLA.
Yeah,
and-
their setups all look sweet.
I know. That's the dream. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll get there
it'll
eventually.
happen.
Yeah.
I think someday, but I'm just saying the first one who
sure.
finally takes the plunge is going to say, "Wow, why didn't we do this earlier?"
And I think it's working
Yeah.
out great for Arizona State.
Look at Penn State. Look at Arizona State. These
They're doing
these
quite
programs
well.
with a name and an image and and the resources to do
and
it.
some conference money.
You can do it
right?
pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Conference money being the key.
Yep.
And Maryville.
If you have a conference and you have a building, and once again, did I mention Iowa? Did I?
I know.
Please, yeah.
It makes no sense.
They could watch all the prospects in their backyard in the USHL. Yeah.
Sit on your hands and have a wrestling program. That nobody
some-
All
watches.
right, Brody Lamb, Luke
Some
Middlestat.
Minnesota signings of players that did not have eligibility, but thought we'd mention them anyway. Brody Lamb already has made his debut with Hartford, I believe, playing for Grant Patolny, who I believe is the
Yeah.
coach there.
Yep.
Luke Middlestat signs. I don't believe he's played yet in Laval, I believe is their farm team.
He's a Canadians prospect. Yep.
Yeah. Gavin Best signs with the Wichita Thunder of the ECHL from Ferris State. He had a good year this year. And Bennett
Great year.
Shimmick signs with the Abbotsford Canucks. So a couple Minnesotans signing deals. And I also just saw CC just tweeted out Caden Mberico is headed to the Cincinnati Cyclones of the ECHL. So kind of that's an interesting one. Not a Minnesotan, but
I wonder
thought
if
I'd
they've
throw that out
fixed the moorings yet in that rink.
there. Oh, I don't know.
Oof.
NPI.
I attended 32 Frozen Fours. By far the worst one. By far. It's
Really?
1996 in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
For people who don't know,
Colorado College was in that, weren't they?
Colorado College lost to Michigan in overtime in the championship game.
That's one of the best teams of all time.
BU and Vermont were the other two teams. Vermont, which had Ian, what was his name? Perrin and Martin St. Louis were the two stars for Vermont. And I believe Tim Thomas was their goalie. Yeah. So for folks who don't, just quick story. Riverside Coliseum in Cincinnati, former home of the Cincinnati, whatever they were in the WHA, Stingers.
Stingers.
Yeah. It had not been used for hockey in a long time. Okay. And Cincinnati, we're going to bid on the Frozen Four. We're going to have it here. It's going to be great. Okay, cool.
They said yes.
They said yes. This was in an era, by the way, when the Frozen Four went to Anaheim. It was going to kind of these non-traditional places. There was this idea, let's spread college hockey around. It worked in some places. It didn't work in Cincinnati. Building was not ready. It was old. It had not been updated. It was not ready to host this facility. And then somebody had the idea an hour before the first game, Colorado College in Vermont. We need to dig the net posts a little deeper.
Oh, God.
And somebody got out a literal, like a drill, and started drilling into the floor and didn't notice there were chunks of concrete coming up. And then somebody hit one of the Freon pipes, whoever was idea it was. Well,
How long did it take to them to figure that out, you think?
I don't know. But and this is like literally not that long before the first game is going to be played. And they have to shut down the ice plant. So they patch it with literally like gum and a quarter. And Steve Cady, the guy who was one of the guys running the show, who was the rink at Miami of Ohio is named after him. He told me he still has the quarter embossed in
Really?
in glass, and he keeps it on his desk. So they patch it as best they can, but they realize if we turn the Freon plant back on
It's going to explode.
and put all this pressure in it, it's not going to hold. So they make the determination, we're going to play the first game, Colorado College in Vermont. We're just going to have to turn the plant off, and the ice will hold as long as the ice holds. The hockey gods, who have a sense of humor, make this game go to double overtime.
Of course.
And one of the great lines afterwards was, by the time overtime starts, there's that much water sitting on top of the ice. It looks like they're playing on a swimming pool because the ice is literally melting. And one of the great lines afterwards was, I can't remember who the player was, but he said if you fell down, you'd get up and you weighed 5 pounds more.
Yeah.
Because you're just soaking in all this water that's sitting on top of the ice. And Don Lucia is coaching Colorado College at the time, and he, instructs his guys, put on every piece of dry clothing you can in between periods because, you're getting sweaty and you're getting wet from the
heavier.
ice. Colorado College winds up winning the game, and then they delayed the second game. It was BU and Michigan. They delayed it for like 2 hours, and then they patched the ice, the Freon tube, like with a real patch, let it dry, turn the plant back on. It was fine after that.
Oh, so it was only the one game where it was really bad.
It was the one game it was really bad. So that happened. It was in a place where there weren't a lot of fans because Cincinnati was not a college hockey market at the time. Miami of Ohio was not at that time what it has become. The closest team geographically was Michigan, and they brought a lot of fans. That was the first title won by Red Berenson, and that was, that was a stacked Michigan team, including Brendan Morrison, who won the Hobie the next year.
And Mike Legg.
Yep, they beat Colorado College in overtime, but nobody has suggested going back to Cincinnati since then for the and they've had regionals in Cincinnati. It was a good regional host, but it was too bad because the host committee, they were great people, and the organizers worked really hard to try and make this a good event, and just it wound up failing. Let's just say it.
Sure.
Any other notes? You got the NPI?
Just NPI. I don't really have anything besides the top 10, 11, even 12. Wisconsin's 12, and it sounds like they're 90% locked to get in. 13, 14, 15 is UMass, St. Thomas, UConn, I believe. So that's all kind of up in the air right now. Augustana, I guess, still has a chance for an at-large if they got really lucky.
They don't have a chance. Don't believe anything you hear. They don't have a chance.
Yeah, there's a lot of sites that say they have this chance, but I think it'd be one of those where they'd need pretty much everything to fall in their favor, which is unlikely. So the field is pretty much set for the most part. Again, those 13, 14, 15 teams might switch up a little bit.
UConn would have to lose in the first round, in the semis this weekend, for them to jump up.
Who?
Augustana.
I think
UConn would have to lose.
Oh, they'd have
everything
to,
else would
okay.
have to be chalk.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's some scenario
And
which
keep in mind, UConn last year was an overtime goal away
unlikely,
from the
but-
Frozen Four.
Correct.
This is an up-and-coming program, I still think.
yeah, so unlikely that Augustana makes it, but there's still a chance that a couple funky things could play out, so their chance is not at 0.
I got an idea for this weekend, by the way. North Dakota, Wisconsin,
Just get together.
Richfield Ice Arena,
It's a little scrimmy.
book an hour, do a joint practice. You got nothing to do. I mean, this is
Dakota
Remy.
needs to get rid of whatever illness they have.
This is
over
one
the
thing
past
Brad
month.
Schlossman pointed out. You lose that game last weekend if you're North Dakota. Have at one point been number 1 in the NPI. Or a solid lock. You've got 11 days until you play again. Wisconsin, same thing. They've been sitting around.
They should play.
The great picture, by the way, I don't know if anybody saw it. Students waiting in line for their game against, Ohio State last week. Mike Hastings and his staff come out with a couple boxes of pizzas, and they're
I
handing them
sent
out.
that.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, that was my tweet.
Fantastic.
I said didn't I say something like the rough week for the Blue Bloods is what I said.
Yeah.
Gophers lost. And Wisconsin obviously they were handing out more pizzas in the stadium as well as outside the stadium or something like that. So,
I got to say, though, I love when schools do stuff like that.
Yeah.
These are your hardcore fans. I remember Michigan State, and I'm sure a lot of schools do this, but when Tom Anastas was coaching Michigan State,
good old days or bad old days.
he would have his players there on move-in day. And
have them help move in.
they would show up in their hockey jerseys and hey, can I haul those boxes for you?
That's solid.
What better way to endear yourselves to the student body And if you're football and basketball, you don't need to do that because you're going to have fans anyway. But if you're hockey, you want to like, hey, come check us out. And how cool is it? Hey, that guy got a hat trick. He helped move boxes into my on
not
campus
just
apartment.
that. I mean, they had some down decades. Michigan State.
And let's face it, if you're a hockey player, it's a great way to meet,
Yeah,
a freshman that might be fetching. You might want to
absolutely.
get to know a little bit better. Hey, who knows?
Well, that's all I got.
That's all I got too.
That's all I got.
It's gonna be a fun weekend. I think everything's gonna stay chalk. I think there's like 1 or 2 spots
Yeah, it could get funky
That
or
could
it could
volley
be perfectly
around.
normal.
between 14 and 15.
Tommies or Mavs? Pick right now.
I'm going Mavs goaltending.
Sydney?
I'll go Tommy's just for chaos.
It would be chaos. How about you?
I'm going Tommies.
I like the Mavs, but they've been, well, I guess both teams have been a little up and down.
I feel
don't
they're
know.
a little stung by the way the regular season ended, and it's like they got unfinished business.
I'm telling you right now, the check has an address on it from those refs, and
Jeez.
it's signed by Don Lucia.
I don't have.
Signs that check.
I'm not going to be surprised by either, honestly. But I'll
8
just
to
say
1
Tommy's
penalties.
for chaos.
By the way, I had a friend bring this up over the weekend. Miami.
What about 'em?
Solid team in the CCHA. Solid team. Frozen Four participant.
Back in the day.
Should have won a national championship.
Yep, yeah.
They go to the NCHC. Didn't go well so far.
Since, yes.
Got in over their skis. Okay.
It's been 11 years.
Who was the coach at Miami at that time?
Rico.
When they got
Yeah.
in. Okay.
Rico?
This is not my question. This is a question somebody asked me who watches college hockey. Is Rico making the same mistake twice?
Wow.
Is St. Thomas, St. Thomas is obviously very competitive in the CCHA.
Yeah, that's
It's
a
the right
good
place
take.
for him.
We'll have to talk about it next week.
Are
after
they getting in?
Yeah, we'll
lose.
find out.
Are they getting in over their skis
They would be
by
for
going to the
sure over their
NCHC?
skis.
And, it's not Rico Blasi making this decision, obviously,
No.
but the irony is it could be the same
That's a
coach
good take.
who
That's a good take.
Yeah.
is doing the same thing twice. I don't think that's going to happen. I think St. Thomas is going to be incredibly competitive right away in this conference. But the bottom line is there are 10 teams in the NCHC starting next year, and somebody has to finish 10th, and somebody has to finish 9th.
And ASU's the only one I can see is in the 9th, 10th slot to start next year.
I don't know. UNO is going to have to recruit a lot of new guys again.
Yeah,
They will.
Omaha's got some work
Well,
to
they
do.
brought in all those U Sports seniors
CC
that had
needs to
1 year
find
of
a
eligibility.
CC
or
needs to find a
juniors.
goalie. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, there's be some bottom there.
interesting point of discussion.
I like that. And I think they're better suited for the CCHA. Look what
I think
they've
so, too.
done the last 2 years. They've crested.
And I'm really hoping St. Thomas students want to show up and see North Dakota play because they sure as hell don't want to see Lake Superior State.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait till that excuse is uncovered, by the way. Oh, we don't like the teams we're playing. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So they're going to just let North Dakota fans come
Go.
in there and take all the seats?
Gopher fans have been using that excuse for 15 years now. So I want them to play St. Cloud State again.
Oh, yeah, those people.
I miss the old WCHA. Yeah,
I
show
hated those
me the
people.
fan that misses playing Alaska Anchorage.
I agree.
Knock it off.
I like the Big Ten. I think. Now the Big Ten.
But
is
we
good,
don't.
too.
We don't know Ohio State. Have you watched the Gophers in the last 100 years? They've been playing Ohio State in every other sport.
Yeah.
Knock it off.
All right. Well, that's all I got.
Good show. Thank you to APX Hockey and the USHL. Thanks to Jess, Ryan, and Sydney. I'm Tony Scott. Thanks for tuning into This Week in College Hockey.